Okay. Yes. I think I got it working. It seems that I get to try it twice when I'm doing Facebook Lives lately. Do it. Just kidding. Delete it. Try again. Hopefully, this is working. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. I hope that you're having a wonderful week. And so I know that, so today is Remembrance Day in Ontario, in Canada, I should say. And I think it's Veterans Day in the United States. So lots of reflecting going on today. And sometimes I think to myself, do I do a Facebook Live on important days like this? And I think, we get to reflect on what's going on and also still have these important conversations, because I think one thing that's been coming up a lot has been this notion of freedom for me. And I've been talking to a lot of my clients and friends and some coaching groups that I'm in about what freedom looks like. And, you know, really that, we honor our veterans because they fought for our freedom to be ourselves, to have the freedom of speech and all of these incredible things that we have, that these rights that we have because they fought, so so it seems to come together, at least in my perspective. And I wanted to talk about, how do we step into being ourselves, which sounds really funny because it's like, just be yourself. And I actually, I think about this a lot, going like, oh, just be yourself. And people are like, yeah, I'm totally just gonna be myself. And then the second thought's like, well, who am I actually? Does Tell me if that resonates or lands with you, because I remember not too long ago where that was just exactly my thought was, okay, I'm just going to be myself. And I realized I had spent 30 years, maybe 30 years trying to be somebody else, trying to please other people, being what I thought other people wanted. Um, you know, Going through school and parenthood, marriage, it was always me shifting and shaping and molding into the places that I thought I was supposed to be, versus getting a lot more clear on who I actually was. I remember as a teenager, I was definitely clear. And then as like the end of my teenage years and into my 20s and 30s, I lost that. So when I say be yourself, and if your question is like, Jessica, I want to, I'm just not clear on, I don't exactly know who that is yet, I would really invite you to start doing experiments. and and that's what I did. I'm like, what do I even like? Who am I? What do I want to be? How do I want to show up? And started just really learning more about me. This gets me really excited. This not as much. I love these activities. I don't love these activities. So it's this process of self-discovery. I should have taken it off. I actually have a sign on a bulletin board in my office that I've had for, oh my goodness, I don't even know how long, at least 5 years. And it says, I might even cry because I can't, I actually don't read it out loud, but I don't even know what it's from. I wish I did. It just says, be easy, take your time. You're coming home to yourself. And for me, that's a process of personal development, self discovery. It's not about actually learning about who you are, it's about coming home to who you are. So that's definitely something I think about a lot. And as I go through all of this, it's not me becoming someone new, it's me learning who I actually am. It's uncovering all the shit and the pleasing and the who I think I'm supposed to be, and shooting all over myself and showing up in a way that I think other people want me to show up. And instead, it's peeling all of that crap away to have the freedom to be myself. And the other word I like to use when I talk about being myself is unapologetic. What you see is what you get. I happen to love it, and other people do. And I guess other people don't too. And I get to be okay either way. I also wanted to mention, like, what gets in the way of us being ourselves. For me, it is definitely this worry about what other people think. And I know I say this a lot because a lot of people be like, oh, I don't give a shit what other people think. And I will say that also. And the truth is, we do care, whether we want to admit it or not. Because biologically, in our DNA, in our primal brain, we have a need, a desire to be accepted by other people, because our primal instincts are, if other people accept me, I will survive, I will live, I will eat. Because that's the way it used to be, right? When we were cave people and so forth. So that actually is in our, we're hardwired for connection. And sometimes we need to just get better at sorting out who's how do I say that? Which people's opinions actually do matter, instead of worrying about all of the opinions of all of the people. So get clear on whose opinions actually do matter to you. I know Brene Brown says this, and she'll say, you know, take a 1 inch by 1 inch square piece of paper and just write down names on that piece of paper, and that's it. That's your sacred square, your ride or die, whatever. And like, those opinions can matter, and everyone else you get to kind of push by the wayside. That definitely can get in the way. And, you know, to a degree, people pleasing. I am a hardcore people pleaser in my past that I've just continuously work on getting rid of. And it's not to say like I'm not an asshole about it, I don't think. And so my people pleasing will come up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want people to like me, or I want to make people happy. It's usually the people pleasing of the people I'm closest with. So how do I allow myself to still shine through those things? What about you? Like, I'd be curious what gets in the way of you being yourself? Is it worrying about what other people think? Is it looking silly? Maybe you're like, oh, I'm pretty out there. Like, I am quite, unique, which I love. I think is fabulous. And like, there's, worrying about maybe I'm too much for people. I know that's a conversation I have with girlfriends too. Like, I think I'm too much. If I was actually to unleash me, people would be like, yeah, I'm good. It's a little much. And instead of avoiding our too muchness, just like embracing the shit out of our being too much. I remember people that I am friends with them, but it's funny because they'll be like, oh, your hair was really crazy in that video, or the way I was dressing a certain way. And I used to take it, like, I took it personally the first couple times they said it. And I realized that they were worried about their hair. They're worried about how they look. They're worried about how they dress. And they're just projecting their stuff onto me. And I'm like, my hair is crazy in every video that I'm in, whether it's in a crazy ass bun, top knot. Even today, I'm like, I don't actually know what's happening here. And cool, because like, if you're here for my hair, this is actually not the place to be about that. It's about, like, what is it about me that resonates with you? What is it about the people that you are interested in hearing? What is it about them that resonates with you? Because if it's about my hair and how I dress, you're just going to be disappointed. Because I literally have a t-shirt and yoga pants on today. I mean, I like to wear my jewelry. I'm big about my jewelry, but I found it really interesting. And if you ever notice that people are saying things like that to you, oh, but your hair's a little crazy, or you dress kind of like, you could probably level up the way you dress. Yeah, I probably could. And that's their projection, because they're concerned about how they look all the time. So they're going to just project that onto you. So just being aware of, when people make those comments, and I think I'm sure they're doing it to try to be nice. And you can say thank you, and that's it, and that's the end of that conversation. And I'm going to show up with my hair however I damn well please about showing up with my hair. crazy or not. So, like, those are things, those are for me, those are barriers that get in the way. Because I could take that and I could be like, okay, now I have to have like perfect hair every time I show up. So then I'm not going to show up. So then I'm not actually going to do a video, or I'm going to be really, really hesitant because my hair is never going to look good enough. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, let me know if that lands for you. Like, sometimes I can't see likes on here, but if that lands, I would love to hear it. And the other thing I want to say about being yourself is kind of goes back to Brené's like sacred square, or that ride or die 1 inch square. Like, who are you surrounding yourself with? The people on your square are going to give you the truth. They're going to still give you the truth of what their opinions are. You still get to sort through it. You get to listen to their feedback. Often I find, like, the 5 people on my list, it is, they love me enough to tell me the truth. And I'm going to know if it's the truth the second they say it, because it's going to hit me in a way that's like, that's true. Or it's going to hit me in a way I'm like, yeah, that doesn't actually land. And not from a place of like, I don't want their feedback, but just from a place of, oh, that's just a little more projection. It doesn't affect me. I don't feel anything about it. And oftentimes, like, as you're figuring out, who I am, how do I want to show up? Because I'm still doing that. Like, there's still elements of like, who am I? I actually had a really great conversation with someone who's supporting me with some of my business stuff. And she's like, well, I watched this one video of you. And it was like this 2-minute video of an opt-in, something really important, where I'm like, hey, I want people to sign up for my free program. And she said, I watched that video of you. And I'm like, who is that? She said, because when you do your Facebook Lives, you're very much a certain way. And that, like, it was almost disconnected. I wasn't like, it was actually like, that's actually not who I know, which was like really great feedback, because here I am trying to please, try to be professional and saying, this is my opt-in. And it actually didn't work because it wasn't authentic. So we need those people in our life who are going to give us that loving feedback of the truth that can land with us, that supports us in being ourselves. And also, I think the people that we love the most see us the most clearly, because sometimes it's hard to see ourselves, right? And when we say, like, what is that? How am I showing up? Or what do I look like? Or, what's your experience of me? And they're gonna tell you the truth because they love you. And that will also help you identify deeper on, like, who am I? That question. So be myself, cool. I want to be myself, but I don't know what that is quite yet. So it's this process of trial and error, understanding what's actually getting in our way, and saying, after an interaction, I like to like look at an interaction and go, okay, like, what worked, what didn't work. I'm a little silly like that, but going, oh gosh, I showed up because I was trying to please them, or I showed up because I didn't want people to not like me, or I showed up that way because I thought I was like I should show up this certain way when I'm in this space. And it doesn't feel authentic. It doesn't feel like me. And I've been actually talking to a lot of people lately where I've been saying, okay, like, tell me about me, which is a really uncomfortable conversation. It's really awkward. It's like, tell me everything. Tell me what my superpowers are, in your opinion. That's do it. I highly suggest doing it to people. And overwhelmingly was just, oh, you're really authentic and you really show up authentic. Messy was a word, but that's actually a compliment for me, because messy is not something I would typically, like, that's hard for me to be messy. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to keep it real and have messy hair and show up in like just like a cute colored shirt and have no fucks to give. And that's where I'm heading. And that's, I think, me showing up that way resonates. So that's myself. That's me being me. And honestly, I connect with people more who are authentic and show up vulnerably and a little bit messy. So that works for me too. So I really get that. So I would love to know, like, how are you working on being yourself and being authentic? What do you notice is getting in the way of that for you? And finally, like, are you up to a challenge of asking, your ride or die people, Like, what are the gifts you see in me? And if you want to reach out to me and ask me that, I would love to tell you. So that's what I got for you today. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I will see you tomorrow.